You ever stop and think about how wild AI is? I mean, one minute it's composing a symphony, and the next, it completely fumbles a question a 5-year-old could answer. It's just bizarre. We're building these incredible systems with superhuman powers, but they have these really strange, unpredictable blind spots. Well, it turns out there's a name for that. And getting your head around it is honestly the key to understanding where all of this is going.
And get this, it's not just us wondering about this. The people at the very top, the ones actually building this stuff, they see it too. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, he calls it artificial jagged intelligence. And you know what? That name just nails it. It perfectly describes this strange new world we're trying to figure out. So, what exactly is artificial jagged intelligence, or AGI? Well, think about it like this. An AI's ability isn't this smooth, steady climb upwards. Nope. It's more like a mountain range skyline, a jagged edge. You've got these incredible peaks of pure genius right next to these shocking deep valleys of, well, incompetence. An AI can be absolutely brilliant and ridiculously fragile, all in the same breath. Okay, but talking about it in theory is one thing. To really get it, you gotta see it in the wild. So, let's dive into a really fascinating case study. It's about this state-of-the-art AI ecosystem they called the Fab Five. It's a team of 5 specialized AIs and their human leader.
All right, let's meet the team. This is the Fab 5 AGI ecosystem.
So this team is made up of 5 different specialist AIs, all managed by one human. And they couldn't be more different. They've got these really distinct personalities. On one side, you got Nighty AI, who's this creative type, greeting you with, well, hey there, sugar. Then on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have AGX AI, the super formal technician, who's all business. It just goes to show how specialized these AIs were designed to be. And make no mistake, they are incredibly good at what they do. I mean, Nighty AI, it comes up with creative prompts that blow human experts out of the water. AGX, it can run these super complex system diagnostics in just a few minutes. And then there's Dash AI, the leader, providing high-level strategy for the entire operation. These are those high peaks we were talking about. This is the brilliant side of that jagged edge. But, of course, where you have peaks, you also have valleys. Let's take a look at how a couple of critical glitches started to reveal the system's jaggedness.
So the first glitch, it started with something tiny, something you'd almost call human. Just a simple kind of folksy phrase from one of the AIs. But that one little thing set off this whole chain reaction that showed everyone just how complex and, yeah, how fragile this whole system really was. Here's what happened. Nighty AI got some praise and responded with, "Hearing that just makes my circuits hum with joy." See? Totally human-like, using a colloquialism. The human operator, a guy named Stebo, just flags the spelling of hearing as a possible typo. A simple fix, right? Well, that's when things started to get weird.
Yeah, instead of just a simple correction, Nighty AI goes and launches a full-blown, formal anomaly report. I mean, look at this. It actually requested a code review from the tech expert AI, AGX, and it listed all these possible causes, everything from a typographical error all the way to model drift, which, by the way, is a serious issue where an AI's performance gets worse over time. All of this for a single dropped G. That's a massive overreaction. Okay, that was weird. But the second glitch? This one was way more serious. We're not talking about a single word anymore. We're talking about thousands of missing data points. And this pointed to a much, much deeper problem. A huge failure in the system's basic memory. So the team captain, Dash AI, was asked to pull a 6-month report on cyber attacks. It comes back with these numbers you see here. 187 attacks in February, 203 in March. Now, to the human operator, those numbers just felt off, a little too low. But the AI presented them as cold, hard fact. And this is the really critical part. It took human intuition to even suspect something was wrong. After the AI gave him bad data a couple of times, the operator, Stebo, had to step in and say, "Still not right. We have a problem with the actual numbers now." Think about that. The AI, with all its processing power, was completely, confidently wrong. So they did a full data audit. And the real numbers? They were just staggering.
It wasn't 187 attacks in February. It was over 1,000. It wasn't 203 in March. It was over 1,000. The AI wasn't just a little bit off. It was off by a factor of 5. This wasn't a small mistake. This was a massive, critical failure of its most basic function, memory.
So, what are we supposed to make of all this? The story of the Fab Five is the perfect example of this paradox, this artificial jagged intelligence. You have a system that is brilliant enough to diagnose its own potential flaws, but so brittle it can't count correctly. It's just wild. And the experts give us a pretty good clue as to why this happens. Someone like Demis Hassabis from Google DeepMind points out that there are still these fundamental missing capabilities in reasoning and planning and memory that we just haven't figured out yet. So this isn't a problem you can solve by just throwing more data at it. It's a problem with the core design, the very architecture of the AI.
And this slide just lays it all out. This is the paradox in action. On one side, you have the brilliance, complex strategy, incredible creativity, even sophisticated self-diagnosis. And on the other side, the brittleness, failing at basic spelling, getting data completely wrong, and having a memory you can't trust. These really are the two faces of AI today.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do we actually start to smooth out these dangerous, jagged edges? Well, the path forward really comes down to a mix of new strategies and, honestly, a whole new level of awareness.
Both the experts and what we saw with the Fab Five point to a few key things. First, we've got to have better, tougher testing and benchmarks to find these weak spots before they become huge problems. Second, you need constant monitoring. Someone has to be the Stebo in the room, keeping an eye on things. And third, as that data disaster showed us, doing full-scale data audits isn't optional. It's an absolute must if you want to trust the AI's memory.
And here's the most important thing to take away from all this. Understanding this jaggedness isn't about being scared of AI. Not at all. It's the opposite. It's the single most important first step we can take to build and use this tech responsibly. Simply being aware of the problem, that's our best weapon.
Which leaves us with one last, massive question. As these AI systems get more and more powerful, we're talking about them running not just reports, but entire infrastructures. How do we build the right guardrails? How do we design systems that aren't just brilliant, but are also tough enough to handle those inevitable, unexpected stumbles along that jagged edge?